because the one thing that especially then is you had a lot of equipment in the chain that you needed in order basically not to have the cutter head blow up, not to have all these other things happen. And the physicality of cutting to vinyl then was very different because there were some frequencies you literally could not put on vinyl at that proper levels. You had to, in the cutting process, you literally were attenuating them. And now, better cutting amplifiers and cutting tools and such, you don't have to make those compromises. So you're really getting something that, it's a much more accurate reproduction than you could have done in 1970.
I mean, for me, what's been astonishing is that, I don't think, honestly, to tell the truth, I probably haven't listened to these albums properly from beginning to end for decades, I mean, unless there was something I heard on the radio or whatever, a track or two, sitting down and listening to them carefully without doing anything else at the same time, from beginning of side one to the end of side two, feels like a new experience, but an intensely nostalgic one, because it does take me back to exactly what we heard in the studio while we were doing it. And it makes me remember, this process has brought up visual pictures of the studio and remembering what Bill Lazarus looked like. I haven't seen him since. And it such has a nostalgic and emotional and evocative component to me. And I think it will to other people as well, because I'm sure there are people like me who heard that record when it came out, and then haven't played it much since. And to hear it restored to exactly what it was meant to be when James created it and when he and I recorded it is kind of enthralling. At least I find it so, but I'm prejudiced, obviously.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, it's to kind of get back to these records that I bought as a consumer.
See, that's where we differ. I never bought a single copy.
I bought them all. And I mean, that's a thing, I could bore everyone with details on where and how I bought the records, and no, I don't still have the receipts, but it's an interesting thing because you have that sort of flashback in time. But what's great for me to be working on this project is how these records, how they were aesthetically and how they sounded at the time. They were inspirational and aspirational to me to do what, fortunately, I got to end up doing.
He's the walking man, born to walk on walking man.